Today, we're going to study a really useful reading strategy when you're unfamiliar with words. It's context clues. Do you want to be a super reader? You can be if you use certain reading strategies. Today, we'll be using one which is reading in context. We will have 4 parts to this presentation. We will be introducing the context strategy. There will be instruction and how to use it, interaction, and closure. Now, during the first 2 parts, I just want you to watch and listen. You'll get a chance to interact during part 3, and then you will demonstrate your skill in part 4. As I said, the skill that we're learning today is context clues. What do we mean by context clues? Well, they're hints within a sentence or a paragraph or maybe a passage that you can use to understand the meaning of a new or unfamiliar word. Why would you want to do this? Well, because sometimes we just don't have a dictionary next to us, so we need to use our context clues to figure out the meaning of a word. A second reason is, as you know, some words have more than one meaning. So you need to use the context that it's used in to figure out what does this word mean in this reading passage. There are 5 context clues that we're going to look at today. Now, there are actually 9 or 10 that you could use, but for today, we're just going to do definition, synonym, antonym, example, and general. And a definition is exactly what it says it is. It's a definition. What does it mean? And we'll see some signal words such as is, are, means, refers to. And here's an example of a definition context clue. An American goldfinch is a small yellow bird. Did you see is? Okay. You had the subject, then is, and then the definition. The American goldfinch, a small yellow bird, is common in California. Here we have an appositive being used. A second context clue is a synonym. And as you know, that's just a word that means the same as another word. And our tip-off that would use, it's like, a lot of times they'll have or, but they could have also, as, identical, like, likewise, same, similarly, to, but or is the most common. If you had read a school of fish moves in a harmonious pattern through the water, you might have gone, fish go to school? No. Our context clue here is or group. It means in this context, when we're talking about fish moving through the water, it means a group. A school can mean a group. The third one is an antonym. And it's the one that is the opposite. You might read, but, however, in contrast. I thought a tomato was a vegetable, but it turns out to be a fruit. Okay, so if I didn't know what a tomato was, I would learn that it's a fruit. The fourth type is an example, and it will use signal words such as, for example, including, such as, because it gives you some examples that helps you to understand that unfamiliar word. To use less salt in cooking, try fresh herbs such as basil, oregano, and rosemary. The fifth type that we'll be looking at today are general ones. These are non-specific clues that are spread through several sentences in a text. Let's suppose that you came across the term lacrosse. You're going, what is lacrosse? Well, I read the sentences that follow it, and I find that players have to be able to run up and down the field. They also have to use a stick with a little net to throw the ball and make goals. So now I have a visual picture of what lacrosse is. Okay, the next part that we're going to have, it's going to be like say hey. I'm going to show you, I'm going to demonstrate how my thought process as I go through this short little reading and how I figure out the words. Just watch and listen, please. The poor duckling had crept out of his shell last of all. He looked so ugly. He was bitten and pushed and made fun of, not only by the ducks, but by all the poultry. What could poultry be? Well, he's being pushed and made fun of. It's not only the ducks, but so that must be poultry. Okay, all the poultry. So a duck must be poultry. Let's look at the sentence afterwards. He's too big, they all said. The turkey, okay, the turkey is going to make fun of him also. So what are a turkey and a duckling? What are they? They are kinds of birds who do not what? They don't fly, and we eat them, okay? Like chickens. Okay, so he's too big, they all said. The turkey, who fancied himself really an emperor, puffed himself out like a vessel in full sail. Okay, fancied himself. Is he a real emperor? I asked myself. No, he's not. So the turkey who fancied himself really in him, maybe he believed mistakenly. If we believe something mistakenly, we fancy something. So he mistakenly believes that he's an emperor, and he puffed himself out like a vessel in full sail. What has sails? Ships have sails. Okay, so he puffed himself out like a ship in full sail. My next sentence is, he flew at the duckling and became quite red in the face with passion. Okay, he flew at him, got up close to him. He has a red face. Oh, so general idea, he must be what? If he is red in the face and he's got up close to him, he's probably angry. So I'm going to guess that passion is the noun form of angry. So it is anger. The poor little duckling did not know where to go. He was quite miserable because he was so ugly and laughed at by the whole farmyard. Miserable. Now, that he was miserable. If I didn't know where to go someplace and I thought I was ugly and everybody was laughing at me, I'd probably be unhappy. The poor duckling was driven about by everyone. Even his brothers and sisters were unkind to him. Unkind. I see unkind. What would be the antonym of unkind? Kind. And if you're kind, what's the opposite of being kind? Mean. They would say, "Ah, you ugly creature. I wish the cat would get you." What were they? They were ducks. They were turkeys. And a cat. What do they all have in common? I bet a creature is an animal. The ducks pecked him, the chickens beat him, and the girl who fed the poultry kicked him with her feet. So at last he ran away, frightening the little birds in the hedge as he flew off. This is something that he's done. He has just been, all of a sudden he's flown off. So I wonder what frightening would be. Maybe he scared the little birds in the hedge. Okay, this is how I would have used the context clues to figure out these words. Now we're going to look at a reading about sound. And you are going to help me. So I want you to call out as we go through it what you think the word means, okay? The world around us is filled with sound. There are loud sounds and soft sounds. There are pleasant sounds and unpleasant sounds. At this moment, you are surrounded by sound. Where does sound come from? How does it get to your ears? Why are there different kinds of sound? The study of these questions about sound is called acoustics. What is acoustics? I have all these examples, right? What did we do? Sounds. It sounds. What else about sounds? It's the origin of sounds. Where does sound come from? How it works. How does it get to your ears? Okay, and the different kinds. So what did I use? I had here questions. It was general information that helped to define this. Imagine a cymbal hit with a drumstick. The cymbal shakes rapidly, and this vibration causes the tiny particles in the air around it to vibrate. What is a vibration? The cymbal shakes rapidly. I'm going to look there. I'm going to look at, imagine a cymbal hit with a drumstick. The cymbal shakes rapidly. Okay. So we have a definition of what vibration is. It's when something's shaking rapidly, causes the tiny particles in the air around it to vibrate. These vibrating air particles, called molecules, vibrating air particles, what? Called molecules. So how did I learn that? Yes, definition. These vibrating air particles. Definition. Okay. Sorry. Bump into the air particles next to them and make them vibrate. This spreading vibration moves outward in every direction from the cymbal in waves. When a small object is made to vibrate, the sound waves move up and down very quickly. Okay, they're vibrating, they're bumping into the air particles next to them, and they're moving up and down the sound waves. This produces a high-pitched sound like a high note in a song. That's the best I can do for a high-pitched sound. Now you know why I'm a teacher instead of a singer. Okay, when a large and that like, it gave an example, didn't it? When a large object is made to vibrate, the sound waves move up and down more slowly. Okay, at first it was they were moving up and down quickly. Now it's slowly. This produces a low-pitched sound like a low note in a song. So how can I figure this one out? Well, I had the example when it was moving, when the sound waves were moving rapidly. Now it's going to be the opposite. Okay, so now I'll know that it is a low note, okay, which is a low-pitched sound. Hitting a small cymbal makes a more high-pitched sound than hitting a large cymbal. The volume of a sound depends upon the amount of energy or force applied to the object that is caused to vibrate. If the cymbal is hit very hard with the drumstick, the volume of the sound is louder than if it is hit lighter, okay, lightly. So what could that be? What could be volume? It's the how loud something is, okay? Because remember, we had high pitch and we had low pitch of the sound waves. The sound wave created by a hard hit carries the energy of the hit along with it. We hit something and it goes, well, let's say that we hit a ball. So what could be carries the energy, force of the hit along with it. When a sound wave hits an object, the force that the sound wave carries causes movement in the object it hits. Okay, and there again, in this next sentence, it said, what was energy? It said the force. An extremely loud sound wave, such as sound of thunder, can actually make the ground shake. So here were our steps that we had. We introduced the lesson, we have been instructed, interaction, and now we're going to go to closure. Okay, you have 15 minutes in which you're going to read this passage below, and you're going to use the context clues in it to decide what these bolded words mean. At the end of the 15 minutes, you're going to share your answers with the class. Okay? Good luck.
And by the way, this will be for a class mark. Later, after you finish this, I will introduce reading circles, and we will do our assignments for our first text that is related to problem solution.